the information on Ashton Kutcher. Now, this really hurt my heart, to be honest, because um I love Ashton Kutcher. He is like, that was like one of my crushes when I was a kid. If y'all don't know Ashton Kutcher, he acted on that '70s show. He's married to Mila Kunis now. Um, but he acted on that '70s show, and he acted in the, what was that? The Guardian. He's done so many movies, and he's always had this like cute kind of boyish quality about him. You know, at one point he was with Demi Moore. So that hurt my heart to hear these things about Ashton Kutcher, because not only does Jaguar Wright accuse him of being at Diddy's freak offs, but she also says that the reason why he got with Demi Lovato was so that he could mess with her young girls. So she accuses him of that. Let me pull up the pictures of Ashton Kutcher for those of y'all who don't know who that is. I'm gonna pull up pictures of him like young. So you'll see he did Punked. So he always was kind of like the funny, handsome guy, you know? One second. Yes, thank you. Y'all hit the like button. Okay, one second. If y'all hear some noise, I apologize. Y'all know I stay on a busy street and I did not close my windows. Let me tell my Tatiana. Okay, so here are some pictures of him when he was young and he was handsome. Y'all, hold on, let me make myself small. Can you please close that window? Thank you. Yes, y'all. So he used to be really handsome. He still looks nice. Okay, but this, y'all, when I tell y'all I love this boy, just no. Shut the window. No. Raise that back up and shut the window. Thank you. Okay, but now he's with Mila Kunis, so I'm trying to find the interview right now. Give me a moment. Mm-mm. Looks like I'm gonna have to try to give me a second, guys, while I go to this interview. Which one was it? I believe it was this one. Okay. Let me pause. Let me find the timestamps. Dang, they did not timestamp this interview. Okay, I know who got the info. Okay, here we go. So I'm on Tisa Tell's channel. I'm not going to share the whole thing, but if you don't follow Tisa, make sure that y'all follow her because she is the hardest working woman on YouTube and she be coming with all the tea. Let me make sure I'm sharing this with y'all. I'm going to skip through some of this.
Evaluate the present, right? Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis wrote a secret. Now, mind you, Ashton Kutcher was at one time on a board for sex trafficking. He testified in front of Congress. He did all the stuff. A lot of people thought he was down for the cause. But after they wrote this secret letter to the judge that got publicized, he was asked to step down from the National Board for Prevention of Sex Trafficking. And people even tried to say that he was the ops. And the reason he was even on that board is because maybe he was monitoring where the source came from.
Okay, so if y'all don't remember, Danny Masterson, who worked on that 70s show with Ashton Kutcher and Mila, y'all remember the dude who had like the short blonde hair? He was kind of like the bad boy of the group. Well, he is in jail right now for SA. And y'all remember Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher secretly like wrote a letter speaking out on his behalf. It got leaked and then they got blasted and they came out and kind of like did an apology. Well, basically, he was on this board for preventing sex trafficking. And that's what she's trying to say. Like a lot of people are saying he wanted to be on that board so that he could monitor information coming in and out, know what was on whose radar. Like he was basically a plant.
They said he was a double agent.
This is all alleged.
Their behavior and what they wrote in that letter was so groundbreaking, so shocking, so disgusting. The sex trafficking board said, you gotta step down. Now, what did they write in that letter? They begged the judge to let their friend, a serial rapist, go free because they know his heart and they've seen him on set. And they know that they've never seen him do anything like that on set. They said a bunch of stuff, basically begging the judge to let him go or put him on probation. Now, mind you, they wrote this after all the evidence was submitted and after the jury convicted Danny Masterson of being a serial rapist. After he was convicted and they saw the evidence and everybody was just like, yeah, Ninja, you did it, right? They wrote a letter to the judge begging him to basically not give him a sentence, let him go on probation, basically get the Diddy special where he's on house arrest and whatnot. The letter was so egregious from someone that's supposed to be an advocate for SA victims, advocate of great victims, advocate of sex trafficking, that it was actually leaked to the public. And Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher then gave that lame apology when they were sitting there looking like in dirty t-shirts against what looked like a barn in their like $80 million house, trying to look all poor and normal. Talking about, we believe victims and blah, 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 blah. They were basically caught defending their literal serial rapist friend and trying to get him freed without having a heavy sentence, okay? So that's what's going on. He got kicked off of the national board for sex trafficking. A lot of people said he was on that board because he was just the ops trying to see what was going on inside. But that's a story for a different day. Danny Masterson, as you know, was...
And I have so much I could talk about on the topic of sex trafficking. In Dallas today, one of those Korean-owned foot massage parlors got raided today. And y'all know what goes on there. Like we all like, here's the thing, we all, well, I don't want to say we all know. I'm gonna say this. If you know, you know, and then the police know because they go to those places. Not all, but quite a few frequent. And they couldn't operate at the magnitude that they operate without city officials knowing, at least the ones that matter. Powerful men in Dallas go there. They're like their only clientele. But these are places for sex trafficking. It's really big, guys. It's a really huge industry, and it wouldn't be able to exist if it wasn't permitted. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm pretty sure there are more than one plant. Like, I'm pretty sure Ashton Kutcher is not the only plant that works in that industry.
Represented by Sean Hawley. Diddy, as you know, was represented by Sean Hawley. Diddy has a new round of lawyers that Mark Agnifila, mark my words, you will, and y'all can put me on, you will not see him at the trial with Diddy. He has been let go, but when you get into high profile cases, you don't just fire. You're fired. You don't announce that for the world to know that you fired your lawyer. You have to be very strategic, because firing someone could make you look more guilty. It could mess up the lawyer's reputation. But trust and believe, Mark Agnifilo has been phased out. He has 3 new lawyers on the case. Their signatures are all over the filings. Mark Agnifilo, the most he can hope to do is still be a consult to see what's going on in the Southern District of New York. But since he did not see Diddy's arrest,
Let me skip some of this, Sean.
To trick a 13-year-old Mila into kissing them, and they joked about the way she thought it was going to be a peck on the lips, and they were hard. He was at all the parties, and he bragged about it. So, fortunately for Ashton Kutcher, the feds don't care nothing about that. Let's get into this article. Then we'll move to Cat Williams. Then we will move to Little Rod, who is saying, "Baby, I ain't scared," and I'll name the names. If you guys don't know, I also did a great interview with Little Rod. Go ahead and check that out. Okay. Ashton Kutcher is terrified Diddy could make up false allegations about his celebrity friends to clear his name in a sex trafficking trial. Okay? Yeah, we'll see. Ashton regrets his friendship with Sean Diddy Combs. Did they leak this? You regret?
Because my whole thing is, if you notice you weren't there at those parties, why would you even think that somebody would bring you in the mix when there were so many other people that were there that you could just snitch on? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is your first thought, oh, he's going to create a story about me, when it's like, well, if you weren't there, there are other people that have bigger celebrity than you that were there. Like, don't you think he would tell on those people before you? So, okay.
Your friendship?
Hey, Binky, good to see you, girl. Yes, happy Friday, y'all. The work week is over for most of us.
They rolled hard. He was at all the parties, and he bragged about it. Let's not forget, Ashton Kutcher was literally dating Mila Kunis when she was really, really young. Let's not forget, she gave a different age on that 70s show, and him and Danny Masterson used to have bets as who was going to be the first person to trick a 13-year-old Mila into kissing them. And they joked about the way she thought it was going to be a peck on the lips, and they would tongue her down, and they would laugh about it, and they had a bet going to see who was going to bag her first. Clearly, Ashton Kutcher did.
I did not know that. I did not know that she was that young when she was on that 70s show. And they were grown men. And first of all, they're gross, they're nasty, right? But who casted her? And why did they cast her? You know, like, I'm sorry, guys, my battery's going out. Give me 1 second. Okay, perfect. Yeah, who casted her? And why did they cast her? That's what I want to know. So that makes me feel like she had to do some questionable things to get on. And if you know this 13-year-old girl is going to be playing the love interest of Ashton Kutcher, why would you cast her and put her in a situation where she would be doing those kind of scenes, kissing? Y'all know Jackie and what was his name on there? Kelso, I think that was his name. Y'all know they had a lot of intimate moments on screen. Wow, I agree with the host. Yeah, like, that was just crazy to me. And I did not know that. I think most of us, when we were watching that 70s show, we did not have a clue that Mila Kunis was that young. And she did, like, for a long time, she was that girl. Like, they would cast her in all the rock videos and things like that. She's a very pretty girl. So this is just disheartening to hear.
Anyway, he regrets his friendship with Sean Diddy Combs and fears the disgraced music mogul would willingly lie to authorities about his famous friends if it meant he could clear his own name. See, that's the thing, Ashton. If he does get a plea before that, That's the thing, Ashton. The feds are 100% going to investigate. Is that all you're saying? It's going to be lies? Ashton has been close friends with Diddy for nearly 2 decades, with the duo speaking highly of each other over the years and the actor even attending many of his famous parties. However, in light of Diddy's arrest, insiders are claiming Ashton is terrified that the rap star could say anything, do anything, or turn on anyone to get out of jail. Ashton absolutely regrets his friendship with Diddy, considering what has happened. He feels lied to, betrayed, taken for granted, and manipulated. Now, pause, just to give you guys a little more color on why Ashton is so cool with Danny Masterman, besides them being once co-workers. And Diddy, Ashton Kutcher was supposed to go on a date. I think it was a first date or a blind date with a young woman. That young woman, shortly after the date, was found murked in a pool.
I remember this
on her floor in her house, in her apartment.
I remember this case that Ashton Kutcher was tied to.
Interesting thing, the police did some investigation, and what they found was Ashton was supposed to be the last person to talk to her or see her. See, Ashton showed up on his date. This is what he told the police. He showed up on his date. He felt something was wrong. He walked to the window and peered in. He saw this woman laying there, clearly deceased, in a pool of her own, whatever. There was something about that when he looked in the window, he saw that she was clearly deceased. He panicked. He didn't know what to do. He tried to open the door. That's how his fingerprints got on the door. He panicked and he didn't know what to do. So he called Danny Masterman and he said, yo, I am looking at a deceased woman right now. And it's crazy because this was our first date and we're supposed to, or maybe it's the second date. It was early in the dating thing. We're supposed to go.
I remember this. And then they were saying that Danny Masterson helped him cover it up. And then her friend came out. I want to say that was like maybe 1 or 2 years ago, trying to bring the case back up. But I can't even remember. I can't believe I forgot that. Yes, Ashton been kind of in some messy situations that are questionable.
Go out. She didn't answer the door. My fingerprints are there. I look through the window and I see her and I think she's murked. Danny, what should I do? And Danny Masterman told him to leave the scene and not report anything to the police. So Ashton, on Danny Masterman's part, the convicted rapist, left the scene, didn't report it to the police, and waited for the police to come knocking at his door. And when the police said, yo, we traced cell phone records and all this other stuff, and you were the last person to talk to her or text her. We also have your prints at the scene. What's going on? He then told the story about,
if it's me and I know I didn't do anything, I'm calling the police because, like, logically, I'm gonna call the police because, like, I know y'all are gonna take prints at the scene and all that. I need you to know the reason why I showed up was take this girl on a date. Now I done found the girl. Like, I ain't do nothing to her. I don't have any blood on me right now. I showed up clean cut for this day. I'm waiting outside. I'm not walking all up. Baby, no, hold on now. I ain't do it. And I know he's a celebrity. And of course, you know, celebrities, they want to try to keep their image clean. I'm not going anywhere. I need to be able to explain myself because it's going to look more suspicious once you take these prints and
about how he just looked he tried to come in and then she didn't answer. He looked through the window. He was so shocked and scared. He didn't know what to do. And he just called his friend. His friend told him just to leave. So he left and here he is. Because don't forget, in America, you are under no obligation unless you have a special relationship with someone to lend assistance. You can watch someone be brutally raped and as long as you had nothing to do with it, it's not illegal. Okay. It's one of our weird things in our jurisprudence. It's not illegal. So Ashton and himself did that. And Danny Masterman did him a solid and got him out of that mess and helped guide him. Ashton has used his Justin Timberlake privilege for so long. Ashton, if you read the blogs, which may or may not be true, I don't know. You go Google Ashton Kutcher and go over to Crazy Days and Nights and see and do what it do. Ashton is into some very dark stuff. And behind his gully shucks, I'm the boy next door that never grew up at. He is into some incredibly crazy, weird, and incredibly dark stuff. So what do we have? We have Ashton now worried that Diddy is going to tell lies on him. Okay, let's get some more into this. The source continued. He feels the same way about Danny Masterson. This is a man he wrote a letter after he was convicted before sentencing, begging the judge to give him another chance, begging the judge to help him. He feels the same way about Danny Masterson. He now trusts no one except for his wife, Mila. He's going to keep his circle to his family. So you were friends with the rap Jeffrey Epstein, best friends, and you were also super, super cool with Danny Masterson, a Hollywood Zodiac killer, the Hollywood rapist. But now you've learned your lesson and you're going to keep your circle tight. Okay. They said back in October, Ashton and Kunis came under fire for sharing letters of support for their former That 70s Show Masterman, in which they pleaded for the judge to show leniency to the actor before he was sentenced for 30 years. With the backlash, he stepped down as chair of his anti-child blank abuse organization. This is a man that was supposed to be an advocate.
Because it's just repetitive.
They wouldn't have any memory of it, due to the baby oil thing and how they said Channing Tatum. I don't know, whatever his name is. Zoe Kravitz is his man. In the whole don't blink twice. So again, just to give you guys a little color.
Hold on, baby. Again, she done added Channing Tatum in the mix. Not Channing Tatum. I gotta run that back.
A 9-year-old. He also made another minor who I believe said that whole thing was nothing but a grooming exercise. Something people say, but now you've learned your lesson and you're going to keep your circle tight. Okay. They said back in October, Ashton and Kunis came under fire for sharing letters of support for their former That 70s Show Masterman, in which they pleaded for the judge to show leniency to the actor before he was sentenced for 30 years. With the backlash, he stepped down as chair of his anti-child blank abuse organization. This is a man that was supposed to be an advocate. Again, some people said that whole thing was nothing but a grooming exercise. Something people say that whole thing was nothing but a grooming exercise. And that's why Ashton was even on that chair thing, because he was just going straight to the source. Okay. Again, Diddy, if you guys don't know, attorney Tony Busby says he has definitive proof that Diddy was basically running a child audition blank ring where he made a 9-year-old perform. He essayed a 9-year-old. He also made another minor who I believe was somewhere between 9 and 14 years old, perform sloppy toppy for a job. He also
that's why, y'all, I don't, a lot of people, I have a child who is, she has a lot of personality, and I've had several people tell me like, oh, and she's very pretty. And I've had a lot of people say, you need to put her in acting. You need to take her to some auditions, but I won't, because she's a child. And I always see like these ads, have your child audition for Disney. But I am so scared something is going to happen to her. And then a lot of times they'll try to ask you to like, leave the room so that the child can, perform whatever they need to perform for the directors or the modeling agency. And it's like, baby, I'm not going. So I'm sure a lot of that goes down.
Raped many minors. They wouldn't have any memory of it, due to the baby oil thing and how they said Channing Tatum. I don't know, whatever his name is. Zoe Kravitz is his man. In the whole don't blink twice. So again, just to give you guys a little color. Again, Diddy's people are going down. And the fact that somebody that was Diddy's best friend for all that time, the most you can say is, I'm afraid you're going to lie about me. You better be more than afraid, baby. Birds of a feather. What did Kendrick say? Those predators move.
Come on now.
Right? Having weathered the Masterson backlash, the actor is now preparing for the possibility of being dragged into the investigation with Combs. The possibility, baby, you are going to be in that federal indictment some way, somewhere. That's what
I'm gonna stop it there, guys. But I mean, yeah, I agree. It is a RICO charge. This is a charge based on conspiracy, and I think there are going to be a lot of people that are dragged into it.